Hey there, welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show that is dedicated to progressive rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and other forms of rock music. So today, it's my favorite albums from 1975. We're going with one of New York's favorite sons, Kiss. And this is the Kiss Alive album, of course. Very recognizable by Kiss fans and for most people, I would think. Classified as kind of hard rock, heavy metal. I think it's probably a little more hard rock than heavy metal, but it's pretty heavy album. And when I first walked into that store when I was 11 years old and saw this album on the display at the desk at the front, I thought, what on earth is that? And then I saw the name Kiss and I said, oh yeah, that's that band those guys talk about at school. As soon as I saw that, and I saw that, wow, these guys are like superheroes, I had to have the album. So I went back home, dug through every cent that I could find, and got enough for the $5.99 special. And went back, and this was my first ever album. So, about this album, released on my daughter's birthday, September the 10th, 1975, although she wasn't around at that point. But I always remember that because of that. It was released at the Electric Ladyland Studios, or produced at the Electric Ladyland Studios in New York. It's, like I said, it's about 78 minutes long, which, is about normal, I guess, for a double album. Nothing too long, nothing too short. Probably just about perfect, really. On the Casablanca label, although on this particular album it's also on Mercury as well, and Eddie Kramer was the producer. So featured on this album, Ace Frehley on lead guitar, Paul Stanley rhythm guitar and vocals, Gene Simmons bass guitar and vocals, and Peter Criss drums and vocals. So at this point in time, Ace wasn't singing, but he was writing some of the classic songs for Kiss at the time. Very strong album, I think. Definitely, I think their strongest album as a group. I do like the Ace Frehley solo album better, but that wasn't always the case. For a lot of years, this was number one for me. So, anyways, there are two albums, as you know, Disc 1 and Disc 2. 4 sides to the album. On side 1, or disc 1, we have Deuce Strutter, Got to Choose, Hotter Than Hell, and Firehouse. These are all classic hard rock Kiss songs. All of them I've listened to way more times than I care to mention. Deuce, of course, has been a long time opener of theirs until they got to Detroit Rock City, and then they started with that one. Strutter, always one of my favorite Paul vocal songs. Got to Choose, another one that I actually like this one almost as much on the Hotter Than Hell album as well. And then of course Hotter Than Hell and Firehouse, which were two regular played tracks that they played in concert in the day. You got the flip side of that album, side B of album 1, or disc 1 in this case, Nothing to Lose, Come On and Love Me, Parasite, and She. Now She I was never a big huge fan of. I know Gene, it was a nice vocal and there was some nice bass on it and stuff, but I just never really ever warmed up to that song completely. Nothing to Lose, of course, Peter Criss's and Gene Simmons' vocal performance on that are great. Come On and Love Me was for a long time one of my favorite Paul Stanley songs. And Parasite, which is a Ace Frehley pen song and sung by, I think it's sung by Gene. Yeah, I think it is. And it's such a different song. It's really not quite the normal for Kiss. It had a different sound to the guitar. That repetitive guitar lick that he came up with was fantastic, and the lyrics are a little different too. And sorry, my computer just shut down. Not that I need it, but. So then you have Disc 2, which features basically 7 tracks, 3 of them on side 3, 4 of them on side 4. This is probably I'm not sure if it's the better album of the two. They're all both pretty solid albums. It's got one of my favorite tracks, Watching You, which opens up side 2. Great Gene track. I think to me, it's his best track, even better than Deuce. 100,000 Years is the drum solo part, and Peter Criss isn't too bad on it. He was a decent drummer at this point in time, and then he does the vocals on Black Diamond. Well, Paul starts it out, and then he does the vocals. It's a fantastic tune. One of my favorite songs by him. Then you got the flip side, B-side, which has probably my favorite Kiss song from this era, which is Rock Bottom. I love the start. I love the real heavy bombasticness of the song. Such a fantastic tune. I even like it on the Dress to Kill album, but here I like it better. Cold Gin, another Ace Frehley song, Penn song, one of his more famous Penn songs on this album. Just really good. I think he's got Gene singing this as well. That's why I'm not sure about Parasite. Did he sing that as well? Yeah, he did. He sang them both. Rock and Roll All Night, of course, which is their anthemic song. Everybody knows it, and this is the definitive version of that song. At one time, I loved it. Now, and then I went through a period where I didn't really want to hear it too much. Now I don't really care. I prefer not to hear it anymore if I can. Just overplayed, overkilled. Not one of their best songs, I think, but still really well loved by the masses, that's for sure. And then Let Me Go Rock and Roll was a song that I liked in its time period, but never was a longevity song. Probably one of my least favorite songs on the album. That and She are the two I don't really care much for. But overall, this is a fantastic album. It's a nice shot of these guys. They probably got this mantled somewhere on their wall for everybody to see them as kids. Yeah, this was a fantastic album. Coming in at number 2, day 27, February 27th, album number 27 for Kiss and Kiss Alive. Yeah, definitely one of their best, if not their best album. Okay, so that takes care of that. I wanted to thank you for watching. Please like if you like the video. Make your comments. What do you think of the album? I know there's a lot of debate on whether it's actually a live album or not a live album. Whether it is a live or it isn't a live album, it's still a very good album, and I enjoy it quite a bit. Yeah, so if you enjoyed it, let me know, and subscribe. It's much appreciated. Any kind of help you can give me is greatly appreciated. And this video will come out, of course, standard-wise tomorrow morning, and we'll be back with the final episode on the 28th, the day after. And we'll see you then, so have yourself a good night. Bye.